The judiciary plays a crucial role in Rivers State's political dynamics, influencing electoral outcomes, governance, and also power struggles. Now, for instance, the court resolved disputes over governorship, legislative, and also local government elections. The judiciary also addresses conflicts between governors, lawmakers, and local government officials. Its decision impacts power dynamics between political parties and factions. Now, here are some notable cases which judiciary has gotten involved in. Amaechi versus Omehia in 2007, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Amaechi, declaring him governor. Wike versus Peterside in 2016, the Supreme Court upheld Wike's election as governor. The APC Rivers State crisis in 2018, where the Court of Appeal intervened in APC's internal conflict. Fubara versus the APC in 2023, where the Federal High Court dismissed APC suit challenging Sim Fubara's candidacy. However, there are still some concerns, one of which includes how independent is the judiciary, particularly perception of judicial bias or interferences. And there is also political interference, where politicians may influence judicial outcomes. Well, joining me on the program tonight to discuss this issue are three distinguished guests. Lanre Toluhi is a political and a social analyst who joins virtually from the United Kingdom. We also have a Precious Elekima. Elekima is a former governorship candidate. Rivers State, he also joins virtually from Port Harcourt. We have Higher King is a human rights advocate with, of course, joining from Port Harcourt also virtually. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, it's great to have you on the program. Let me start off with you, Higher King. So far, looking at the involvement of the judiciary, or let's even look at it holistically, what do you make of the political climate in Rivers State in recent times? Higher King.
Well, it's unfortunate what is happening in Rivers State. I can tell you that the political climate in Rivers State is being dictated off by people who think that Rivers State belongs to them, by people who think that after leaving office that they can continue to rule Rivers State from anywhere they are. That is actually what is happening in Rivers State, and that is actually what is happening in most states in Nigeria. That is actually what is also happening even at the presidency. It's very, very unfortunate that what is happening in the past 6 months, just immediately after the governor took over on May 29th last year, wasn't up to a year, wasn't up to 6 months, wasn't up to 6 months when this crisis started. And this crisis is into almost a year now. Just like August, July last year, this whole problem started. And up till now, the problem is unabated. It's very, very unfortunate that few individuals who is interested in their personal interest, not the interest of anybody. Their personal interests are at ones that are heating up the polity in Rivers State. That is actually what is happening in Rivers State. And it's very, very unfortunate. It's very, very sad. It's very, very unacceptable because it has to do with individuals, not for Rivers people, not because they are fighting for Rivers people, or they are fighting to better my life, or they are fighting to better the life of my aged mother who is a retiree and a pensioner, not because of that, but because of their personal interest. That is very, very unfortunate. That's actually what is happening in Rivers State. And we condemn it in totality. We condemn it completely. That is unacceptable. We are individuals, because of their personal interest, they are taking Rivers State to build their personal property. It's very, very unfortunate and very, very sad.
I mean, it's really, really unfortunate, just like what you said. And seeing that from your explanation, you said it's a reflection of more of personal interest against the collective good. I'd like to bring in Mr. Precious Elekima into the conversation. I know that we have discussed a lot as regards Rivers State, and you've been a vocal voice when it comes to these issues. But my direct question to you is this: are things getting better politically?
Well, this thing is in a very narrow compass. No matter what anybody says, there was a turning point, or there is a turning point in these issues. And that turning point is, at the time, no matter what, whether 4 legislators or 3 legislators or whatever thing they have said, at the time the 25 or 27 PDP legislators defected to APC, that changed the landscape of this discussion. The question we have is that, did they defect? Did they swear to the affidavit that they defected? Did they, the Hallowed Chambers at the House of Assembly defected? If these questions are true, and why this defection took place, in line with the Constitution, there was no division in the party, which means they have ceased to be members of the River State House of Assembly. This thing is not about sentiments, it's not about emotions, it is about law. The small book Constitution, who are giving powers to everybody. So if these gentlemen had defected on that said day, and they went as far as going to the Federal High Court and swore to an oath that they have defected, I do not see us discussing this matter over and over. Let us brush aside anything, whether it's 4 legislators or 2, keep it aside. Did they defect? Now they say they have not defected. So if they have not defected, also in affidavit, then there is perjury. So there must be consequences for action. So my position about it is that we should not flog these issues. As soon as we're able to answer these questions, if they defected, they did not defect. If they defected, was there a division, or did they swear to the affidavit? To the Federal High Court, yes. This is where we are. I think this is my position about it.
Okay, let me take Lanre's position too on the matters, the political climate in Rivers State. What do you make of it?
Thank you. And just like the other guest has spoken, it is pathetic that Rivers is going through this, and it's unneeded, because we know the importance of Rivers State. And you won't want to begin to ask questions. Why always Rivers? Because, if you're even talking of the states, we have close River. We have acquired, and I know there have been power tussles in time of power transmission for Governor Limina and President Elekima. And there have been power tussles in acquiring, but what they've done with theirs is they use it to develop their state, and they develop their state, bringing their state into the good
it's not going to ask you.
But in Rivers is the case. There is always problem, and you see, just like the last speaker said, some people decided to take the law into their hands without doing proper consultation. They didn't consult very well. They were loyal blindly, and they were not well advised. And they made some moves. It was on national TV. We saw them claim that they deflected, and they defected from a party, from PDP to APC. There was no crisis in PDP as of then. They saw an affidavit, and now they are claiming all these. And the judiciary, that is where the judiciary is having problem, because the judiciary, we shouldn't even be going back and forth. We shouldn't be going back and forth. It is taking too long. It's almost a year. I thought it should have been a matter of maximum 2 weeks. Judiciary, to the highest level, have said, declare these people's seats vacant, because the law was clear. It was clear and clear. If there's no division of any kind, you can't deflect. Once you deflect, you lose your seat, and that will have just solved this. But judiciary is still playing hide and seek, and as long as judiciary is playing hide and seek with the with Nigerian democracy, there's a problem because the judiciary should be the common man. Judiciary should be the definer of this democracy, but they decide to allow themselves to be used as a place where who has the highest influence, who has the highest number of friends, who has the highest.
All right, Lanre, I'm sorry to. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt your line of thought, Lanre, but I'm made to understand right now that we need to go on a commercial break. Of course, when we return, we have a sound on tape video where we will be playing, showing where, of course, a pronouncement was made that this defection video should be played in court. This issue, of course, has been a major bone of contention. We'll discuss more on this when we return. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Politics HQ on New Central Television, and of course we are discussing the judiciary and the political dynamics in Rivers State. I still have my guest with me, three amazing gentlemen. They join me virtually. Thank you for staying with me, gentlemen. Now, I would like us to listen to a sound on tape that we have as regards administering this defection as part of the content at the judicial proceedings. Do take a listen.
Simple. That these persons voluntarily came out and told the world that they had defected. As a matter of fact, we saw it on Channels TV, saw it on TVC, and we have now come here to tell the court that, look, having done that, they should vacate the seat so that INEC can conduct a by-election where everybody, including Labour Party, will contest. Furthermore, at the Federal High Court in Abuja, they deposed to an affidavit reflecting the fact that they have defected. The PDP also responded to that affidavit, admitting that they have defected. Interestingly, we have video clips to play here, so we hope that on the day, the court already has granted us leave to play that video clip. So on the day we'll be adopting, we will play that clip for the whole world to also see what they already said before.
And what happens most times is that you court will usually take the preliminary applications before they get to the substantive matter. So what happened today was exactly so. Court needed to trash out the preliminary issues before it gets into the substantive matter. Well, the first defendant, as well as the second to the 28th defendant, were asking the court to order the plaintiff, or so to say, the plaintiff in the matter to file pleadings on the basis that the issue before the court is contentious and is not one of such issues that can be determined on a documentary basis, so to say. That's on ground of originating summons. So that's the issue that
I mean, there you have it. You saw, of course, the representatives of the parties involved, where we understand that the Labour Party has gotten the court back in to actually play the defection video. I would also like to state that on this program, we actually even had one of the lawmakers speak to us on this same show, where he openly denied that he never defected, even when we played back a couple, of those materials live on air, where he was waving the flag, and he said, well, he did all of that in solidarity with the government of the day. But I think I should bring Higher King into this. Your reaction to the issue of the defection. We've seen cases, I mean, this is obviously has become a judicial issue, even though there are videos and materials to show where these lawmakers actually did claim to have defected. What's your take, Higher King?
First and foremost, I want to say that I am ashamed. I am ashamed of being a lawyer. I am ashamed of being part of the legal profession, that the people that we have regarded before now as honorable people, that's why we say we are learned, have turned around to tell me now is night. Now is about after 7 p.m., the 21st day of November 2024. And you are telling me that this night is now afternoon, this morning. That you are insulting me. That's an insult. King, this time we are now is actually morning, that it is not night. You are insulting me. That's the way I see it. It's a big insult for you to be telling me that. That is what they are trying to do. You saw Section 109. You saw it. It's glaring. Section 109 was drafted or became part of the law of the 1999 amendment so that people will not defect. Let me say this. I've said this several times. Nigerian politicians are people who violate the Constitution. They don't do what is right. They don't do what is constitutional. They don't do what is legal. They only do what is political. And most times, what is political is illegal, it's unconstitutional, it is against the law, it's immoral. You saw that section.
Okay, Higher King, we know that politicians...
You are telling me, after they play a video, and you are telling me that the video is not this. I mean, why would you be telling me such a thing? Like now, I'm telling you now that this time is morning, that today is 21st November 2025. It's an insult. You are insulting me with what I'm seeing with my eyes. You saw that section. You openly said you are going and you left. Suddenly you are telling me that what I'm seeing is not correct. But I'm not. Is my eyes blind? Am I blind? You are telling me what I'm saying is not correct, and you are trying to make a legal issue out of it.
I would like you, Higher King. I mean, we know that there's what the law says. I know that we know that there's what the law says, but politicians would always be politicians. I mean, part of the argument some of them gave is that Tony Okocha never even received any of them, and that for some of them, for defection to actually happen, it must happen at the level of their ward, which many of them claimed, there is no documentation to that effect. So from the eyes of the law, can you take us through the process of defection?
It's simple. Section 109 came into being to stop people from defecting. Even Wike attested to that fact. You cannot be sponsored by Higher King Party, and along the way, you get up and say you are leaving. For you to defect, Section 1094, it says there must be crisis. It didn't say you cannot defect. It didn't say you cannot defect. You can defect, but there should be crisis. There must be crisis. That is the condition. That is the exception to defection. Ordinarily, you are not allowed to abandon the party that sponsored you in the elections. And most times, politics is what is lies. Politics is against the Constitution. Politics is immoral. Politics is illegal. Whenever you hear people say, oh, you are playing politics, it means you are lying. That is the truth about it. Whenever somebody tells you, boy, stop playing politics, it means you are lying. It means you are not being truthful. You are not being real.
So why do you think, I'm sorry, Higher King, so why do you think, what do you think is responsible
of making laws into their hands? Just get up and begin to play with me. I feel insulted by them. Even discussing this, I feel insulted. I feel so sad about it. It's very, very sad. So for you to defect, there must be crisis. And under the circumstances that we are right now, since December, by next month it will be 1 year, they made a mistake. They were in a haste. Some of them are my friends. We have spoken privately. And I told them, oh boy, you don't make mistake. Some of them, they are my brothers even. I told them, I said, you have made a mistake. Why you were so much in a hurry? And it has happened. You take it. That's politics. You cannot come around and say, oh, you did not. You are insulting me. You are making me feel insulted. You are calling me a fool. I asked one of them, I said, look at my forehead here. Did you see anywhere they write F-O-L, F-O-O-L, fool? Am I a fool? Do I look like a fool? Leave law now. Legally speaking, by that section, which was imputed to prevent this kind of discussions, that you saw it openly and you went to violate it. You should bear what comes out of it. Chinua Achebe said, a man who went and brought home faggot-infested firewood must entertain the lizard. You cannot, the lizard must come visiting. because you have taken what belongs to them.
I mean, talking
You have
about
defected and you
Higher
have
King,
lost your
Higher
seat.
King,
But
talking
none
about
of them is saying
lizards
that.
visit.
None of them. Let me even tell you, from the discussions I have had close to 1 year now, nobody has ever said that they did not defect. What they are saying now, sorry, nobody is saying that the section 109 is not effective. They are only saying we did not defect. That's what they are saying. They are not saying, because if they accept they have defected, section 109 will come into full force. So nobody is contesting section 109. What they are trying to say now is that we did not defect after you defected. My dear brother, you have made a blunder. And you should be ready to bear the brunt. You have made a mistake. It's only the political angle to it that is, I am very, very angry. INEC have refused to conduct by-election. That is what they ought to have done by now.
Higher King, please hold on.
Because
please hold on.
The government in power is so sad. Very sad. Like I said, I feel ashamed to be a lawyer.
Higher King,
very big shame.
I mean, we really feel your passion and, of course, the intensity through your words. But I'll just ask you a question, and I would, of course, appreciate if you can respond in 30 seconds. You said that politicians, more often than not, break the law. When you even give an instance, when you say stop being political, you use the phrase, it means stop telling lies, if I got you correctly.
Yes.
So what do you think gives these politicians that level of effrontery to bend, twist, manipulate the law, and maybe do what they like?
Because they think they will go scot-free. But this one is hanging them like the sword of Damocles. They think they will go free with everything they do.
But isn't that usually the case? Isn't that usually the case?
They are doing. You show it openly, and you want to. The whole millions of Nigerians are fools. That is what you want to tell us. That when you came out and said I have done it, so we are fools. We don't see. We are foolish. That's the meaning. We are taking us for a ride. For them to even come out and say I did not. In fact, it's an insult to millions of Nigerians. They are doing it, my brother, because they will get out with it. Over a year now, nothing has happened. They are sick. The INEC has refused to conduct the election. That is why they are doing what they are doing. Because if the law had taken its course instantly, there won't be opportunity for them to come back and say, I did not defect, I defected, I did half. So they are accepting half defection. From what you are saying now, from what some of them are saying, it is half defection. Where do we have half defection and full defection? You must be received by your party, your name must be in the register and all that. The provision of the law does not make for half defection. You defected, you leave your seat, you leave your seat. So actually, this one will teach some of them lessons in the future. You don't wake up to violate the law until let the law take its course. Like
Higher King, please hold on.
Some of them are my brothers and my friends, my associates. And I told them, I said, you have failed in this one.
Higher King, hold on. Thank you so much, Higher King. Thank you. Thank you.
Let the law take its course. By the time the law takes its course, a lot of them will learn their lesson. They've lost their seat. That's the truth about it.
Okay, so I mean, hopefully, we are hoping.
If section 109 is not effective, why are they coming back to say we defected half? We didn't defect full defection. We didn't defect. Why are they coming back? Because section 109 is now effective. Let the section 109 be completely implemented. Let INEC shame the devil, shame themselves, and come out and conduct election. Let the presidency come out.
Higher King, I'm sorry, I just need to come in here. Higher King, I feel the intensity of your passion, but I just need to come in here. I mean, you even use the phrase half defection. I want to bring in Lanre, into the conversation. You've heard everything Higher King has said, and you've also, I want to believe that you've, observed the whole defection drama happening in Rivers State. Just like I mentioned earlier, we had one of the lawmakers on this program who openly said, in spite of the videos and everything we played back, that he never defected and that, there's no documentation to that effect. So we have what the law says versus some individuals, lawmakers in the state saying that, there's a gaffe there. What you see is not really what happened. What do you make of it?
Is the level the Nigerian judiciary system brought itself. Our judges have decided to allow anybody to disrespect them because they don't even have respect for themselves. Sorry to say, but that is the truth. Because you see, these guys come and they came on board. They went to the Harlow chambers, they announced their deflection, they went to the High Court in Abuja, saw an affidavit, they also saw affidavit to say they've deflected. Look, the question is whether Okocha, the factional chairman of APC in Rivers, claim he received them. No. The law did not say they have to go to a particular party, so they don't have to be received. The law is just like Higher King just said. The law in section 109, subsection 4 said you can only deflect when there is crisis or when there is division in the party that brought you into power as a legislator. So as they have deflected, don't want to even know. Nigerians shouldn't be asking which party they are going to, which party they are not going to. You have deflected, fine. Then stop being a member of the PDP. You stop being a member of the PDP, then you are not a legislator. It is simple and short. But because the Nigerian judiciary is playing hide and seek, the Nigerian judiciary is playing like the Barbara Woodman tying a corn to his back. Definitely will see the hens and the chicks come playing with him and disrespecting him. That is what they are doing. Because now we could see that even the same Nigerian judiciary is giving this, is recognized these same guys and giving them some counter injunctions and no counter injunction, counter judgment or no counter judgment. As far as the law is concerned in Nigeria, in a sane environment, in a tidied and because there was no need to have those political arrangements.
You said that there was no need to have the political arrangements.
There was no need for that.
Some will beg to differ on that. But Lanre, let me, of course, we'll come back to that. Let's go on another break. When we return, of course, we'll definitely pick up on that aspect. Do stay with us. This is Still Politics HQ. Thanks for staying with us. This is Still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, we are looking at the judiciary and the political dynamics in Rivers State. I still have my guests with me, three amazing gentlemen who joined me virtually. Thank you for your time and also for staying with me. Let me come back to you, Lanre. Lanre, you were trying to establish a point. You said that that meeting was not necessary and that Governor Sim Fubara should not have attended the meeting. Is that what you're saying?
I've attended. The president is the president of Nigeria, not president of APC, ABGA, PDP, or Labour. He could have attended it at all. Okay, the president's calling me. But although we operate a federative system where each governor has control of their states, not the president, but he could have just attended the meeting and have the meeting. Or he should have allowed the legislative arms of the state, because you know the legislative is independent of the executive, and the executive is independent of the legislative. They are just there to checkmate and decide whatever thing is done. Is being done. If you had allowed the legislative arm of Rivers State, when they had a new, when the legislative, the ones that were left, decided to elect themselves a speaker, you should have allowed them to go through with their legislative duties by declaring these seats vacant immediately, right to INEC by the legislative, probably get his approval or probably get him notice or copied in or CC'd in the letter to INEC so that they could have conducted another election. Probably I would have been in this mess that we are in. Okay, but let's even say it and let it go. It's something he wanted peace, according to what he said, fine and good. But what we are saying is, yes, the judiciary of Nigeria, the Nigerian judiciary system need to start doing what they need to do. They need to start to do what I call image laundry, because as it is today, the Nigerian judiciary need a serious and a thorough image laundering. They've messed themselves up. They've shown that they cannot make decisions. They've shown that they can easily influence. They've shown that they go for who has higher bidding. When I mean higher bidding, it doesn't have to be necessarily financial endorsement. But you just should have look, the more influence you have or the more relationship you have with them, they are not giving their own leading Justicia or Justina, what they call her, in the case of Nigeria judiciary, is not blindfolded, his eyes are wide open, and he sees people she wants to see and decided to turn blind eye on what they want to turn blind eye on. Because as we are now, Rivers is in all these because the judiciary system in Nigeria or Nigeria's judiciary sector have decided to do what they need to do. They are playing hide and seek. And if they are doing this, it is a danger to Nigerian democracy because if the judiciary decide to play what they are playing, the Nigerian democracy that we are enjoying, that everybody is happy that we have democracy, the judiciary is putting it in a big risk. And I wouldn't want judiciary to put Nigerian democracy in a big risk because Rivers is a litmus test. A lot of things are going to be happening. We saw what has been happening in Rivers. Now, the people, the indigenes of Rivers are not being allowed to enjoy good governance. We saw then that they presented a budget, 2004 budget, and actually gave a judgment that they should go and present it to these 27 lawmakers. They're not even lawmakers again. They are imposters. And according to Nigerian law, imposters are meant to be jailed.
Okay, I mean, you've made some real valid points, and you really took a swipe on the judiciary in Nigeria. I mean, you sort of painted a situation, you used the word image laundering, a situation whereby it seems like the confidence of the people in the judiciary seems to dwindle. So this will bring me to invite Honorable Precious Elekima into the conversation. Right now, we know that there's a special panel set up to look into these matters, particularly in Rivers State. We know that today there was meant to be, a panel to look into the local government killings amongst a couple of other issues in Rivers State, where, of course, the former governor was invited and also Tony Okocha, but they didn't show up. This is my question to you. Do you think all of this, at the end of the day, would have any effect or impact in sort of maybe bringing a lasting solution? Do you think that this process will succeed?
We're in danger. All these raging arguments will stand or fail until we solve the first problem. Did they defect? We're talking about constitution. We're talking about law and order. Did they defect? Was there a case filed at the Federal High Court? Was the affidavits part of that case? Was there a judge handling that case? Did they voluntarily file to discontinue the case? Was that decision to strike out the case taken by a judge? What are the facts of that case? What were the proceedings of that case? It is when we get the proceedings of that case, the judiciary has themselves to say, indeed, ghosts came and swore to affidavit that they defected. The ghost came and withdrew the case. Now the human beings are saying, we did not file that case. We did not swear to that affidavit. It is only when we have solved that puzzle that we can be asking another question. Where all these things we are talking, we're just going round and round. If there is a violation to section 109 of the Constitution, then let the judiciary interpret it in their own way. Because there are three moves from the executive arms of the judiciary. The judiciary must make a pronouncement. Whatever pronouncement they make, in this case, whether there is perjury, whether there is no perjury, whether there was defection, there's no defection, it is the judicial that will stew in it.
But I want to ask you a direct question. I want to ask you a direct question. Are you confident that on this matter, the judiciary will be free and fair?
Yes, go ahead.
My question to you is this. Are you confident that on this matter, given the parties involved...
So once more, your question?
Okay, my question is, are you confident that on this matter, Given the party and the political weights involved, do you think the judiciary will be free and fair in its proceedings or pronouncement?
You know, let me tell you something. The judiciary are Nigerians, they're human beings, they have children, they have families. Whatever thing they do, they will, if it is the right thing they have done, their children are in the society. If it is the wrong thing they have done, their children are in the society. Nobody wins. Let them write what they want to write. Let them say there was half defection. Let them say there was no defection. Anything they write to say, their children will be part of it. Their families will be part of it. Their friends will be part of it. We all will be part of it. So it's not the question of their writing it for one person. Because the day that constitution to find, if there's a day where, and then the constitution is not upheld, somebody can do it, twist it the way they like. I don't get too frustrated because we go to the same gas station we buy. If there is violence, we are part of it. If there are killings, we are part of it. Anything that's wrong, we are part of it. Okay. So it does not mean because they sat down somewhere and they write judgments, they are immune from it. They're not immune. So my advice to them is, you must uphold the constitution. You must make sure that there's order. Because when you create disorder, you can never have peace.
All right.
So if they are able to satisfy themselves that these people defected, if they satisfy themselves that there are no ghosts that swore to the affidavit and they are human beings, then it is up to them to do what they have done for 4 years in the university, for 1 year at the law school, and what they have been doing to the society. Whatever thing they do, we're all part of it.
Okay.
You know, God has created this world that everybody has his own part.
Okay.
So if they are judicial officers, when they finish their own, they also meet other professionals on the road.
Okay. Thank you so much. But I understand that we need to go on one more break. Of course, when we return, we'll be taking our final thoughts. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This, of course, is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. Well, before we wrap up, gentlemen, I'd like to say a big thank you. But I would like to take just Higher King. You are a legal practitioner. All eyes right now seems to be on the judiciary. But at the same time, there seems to be sort of shaky confidence in the judiciary, given what many people have seen. Some would even say there is a state capture and the judiciary has been affected, according to some. I'd like you to speak, as a legal practitioner. What is going on in 30 seconds?
Well, sincerely speaking, I still have confidence in the judiciary, especially when it involves non-political matters. But when it involves political matters, because the executive controls everybody, there is actually no complete independence of the judiciary. The executive controls the judiciary. I am not very, very confident when it comes to political matters. But for other matters, I still have confidence in the judiciary till tomorrow. They can still give you good judgment. I have had judges whom I quarreled with, whom I didn't like their pattern. At the end of the day, I won those cases. So I can still have confidence in them when it doesn't involve judicial political matters. But when it involves political matters, but because of interest, because of political interest, because of politicians who influences them, they can do what they don't
I'm sorry, Higher King. So you agree that politicians do it?
I am believing that the Supreme Court, for once, the Supreme Court will do the right thing. You know why they will do the right thing? If they fail to do the right thing, it will affect a lot of things. If they fail to do the right thing, it will further diminish the confidence in the judiciary. Like I told you already, I am ashamed of being a lawyer. I am ashamed for the judiciary, for the judges. The judges now, they are endangered. You can't move along the road. We have gotten to the point where, as a lawyer, you are moving. Say, well, along, they've told me before, see on a way they provide justice, on a way they twist everything. So we have gotten to that level where a judge could be stoned on the street. But this time, I believe that the Supreme Court will do the right thing. Because if they fail to do the right thing, the judiciary will further nosedive. They will further lose their credibility. They will further lose their respect. Because of that, I know the Supreme Court justices will beg the politicians, please, let us not go this way. Let us go the right way.
All right.
For posterity, because these 27 members will come and go. In the next 4 years, they may even become farmers. They may even become irrelevant in the society. So you cannot, because of 27 people, you destroy the future of Nigeria. You destroy constitutional destroy Nigeria's constitution.
I'm sorry, Higher King, but we really need to go. Thank you so much for your time on the program, gentlemen. Deeply appreciate. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you once again, gentlemen. Thank you, Lanre Toluhi. Thank you, Honorable Precious Elekima, and also Barrister Higher King. Thank you once again for your time. Well, that's the beat we can take on today's episode. In case you missed out, there will be a repeat broadcast tonight. And also, of course, you can catch up on our YouTube platform. The name is there, News Central TV. You can also follow us across social media with the same name. You can follow me personally at Dakpo, at Digboye. Until I come your way tomorrow, good night.